Hey, welcome back, guys, to another video. That's right. What you're seeing right now, that's gameplay. That's my gameplay. Wow, we have evolved as a species. I have evolved as a sentient being who can now put gameplay on his videos and commentate at the same time. Still no script though, so bear with me. I'm still gonna be fucking waffling and rambling around like I am right now. But to get to the video, the point of the video is not all games should be made for everyone. That's my opinion. It's not a hot take. It's a spicy take, but it's not hot. It's a little mild, you know what I mean? But that is my opinion. That all games should be tried by everyone, but not enjoyed by everyone. Of course, that makes sense. Obviously, we don't have all the same hive mind and we all do the same things. We kind of do if you think about it. But we're not supposed to enjoy everything that other people enjoy. And I think the main problem is that companies don't see that. That's the thing I'm getting to. That companies don't see that, hey, we shouldn't get the most hands possible on this game because not everybody's going to enjoy this game, which may hurt the reputation or the reviews of this game that we put out. I think that's the main point of topic, right? Now, I could easily waffle and ramble around about different video games, but I'll have specific examples of what I think those things came true, at least in my personal experience, right? You think about Marvel's Avengers, right? You think about Endgame. A lot of people say that movie really isn't a good movie when you look at it as a movie standpoint. But that's the problem. You're looking at it as a movie. It's not a movie. It's an experience of a 10-year journey to get to this point. It's not for people who jumped on the bus maybe halfway through, maybe towards the tail end, maybe in the beginning and then fell off and came back on towards the end. It's not made for them. The movie is made for the people who started at Iron Man 1, got all the way to this point, to Endgame, and here we are. That is what the movie was made for. You know, when we see Captain America throw Mjolnir and then catch it again, people lost their shit. That wasn't made for the audience. That was made for the fans of the universe that was created, right? You had to remember, there was theories in Marvel Avengers Age of Ultron where the hammer kind of moved when he tried to lift it, right? There was theories, maybe he is worthy, you know what I mean? And it took about 5 to 4 years to get to that point where it was like, oh shit, he is worthy, right? That scene, that movie simply wasn't made for everyone, and that is okay. And games need to understand that, right? A good perspective I have on it is art. Movies are art, music is art, video games is art, painting is art, right? Why can we as people go to a art museum, see a painting and be like, oh, with my emerald green eyes I see a message to my forefathers of an apocalypse happening, and then another person on the other side is like, I see cheese and wine on a Saturday night. You know what I mean? Like, but there's an agreement that we see something else in this painting, right? Something in it speaks to you differently than it does to another person. And there's a common agreement that, yeah, I agree with that. Why can't we have that translate to movies, music, and video games? Especially video games, right? Example I have in video games, right? I'll bring up 2. Starfield. I know it's a hot game, right? Or it used to be a hot game at least, but it's a hot game to talk about, right? Starfield, I've tried it 3 times. I have about 157 hours in total, so I've played a good amount of it. For a Bethesda game, 157 hours is just not standard, you know? I spent a lot more hours in the other games than I did in Starfield, right? Now, it did itself no favor by coming out between Baldur's Gate 3 and Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty DLC, right? Those two things are considered landmarks in the video game culture now, right? Baldur's Gate 3 is the greatest RPG of all time, or considered one of the top three, right? And Cyberpunk Phantom Liberty is considered a technical masterpiece that brings an absolutely unique experience to the gaming atmosphere, right? Those are two landmarks in the gaming industry, and Starfield came right between that. And it's tough. It's tough because it's easy to get wrapped your mind into the reviews and the expectations of other people. I don't personally. I take it for what it is. I take it for what the studio does, and I just call it what it is, right? And see if I enjoy it, right? I'm of the generation and the age of, hey, I went to Best Buy to try a game. I went to GameStop, fucking clearance section to try a game. I went to the Walmart $5 cage bucket to try a game. And if I didn't like it, I didn't like it. If I liked it, I liked it. That is the mindset that I still have in my soul. I buy a lot of video games. I play a lot of video games. I do a lot of one-offs. I do a lot of comebacks, right? I bought Suicide Squad. I enjoyed Suicide Squad. They updated it. It doesn't work anymore. And they just disappeared. So it's just like, okay. But I enjoyed Suicide Squad. That's just me. To get back to Starfield, it's easy to get lost in the expectations and reviews of the game. If you were to listen to what Bethesda was giving you, it's easy to get lost in the fantasy world of what you might expect, right? I did it. I know people who did. You're watching right now. You know who you are. And it was kind of obvious to tell you weren't going to get those things that they're saying. But that's a whole nother issue for a whole nother day, right? We're focusing on, games not made for everyone, right? So let's get back to the topic, right? Like I said, no scripts on waffling around. But, hear me out. Back to Starfield. Does it have its problems? Yes, of course it does. It has technical problems. It has loading screens. It has all those things, right? That's not what I'm coming to, right? Cyberpunk, it had its issues. It had major issues. That's not what I'm talking about. If you have constructive criticism for technical issues or narrative issues, then that's a whole nother issue, man. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not going, oh, if you didn't like the Cyberpunk launch, then maybe it wasn't made for you. Nigga, that wasn't made for anybody. You know what I mean? It really wasn't made for anybody. Because you can't play it. That's not what I'm talking about. Constructive criticism is a different thing. What I'm talking about is what I'm about to mention right here, is that Starfield is a clean, arcadey, free roam, space exploration, NASA inspired, just lossless vibe. That's what Starfield is, right? And if my mind wants a gritty, gory, horny, sexual, violent, gruesome, hard rock, fucking techno, neon lights, then I want Cyberpunk. But it's not fair for Starfield. It's not fair for Bethesda and Starfield for me to go, this is what I want, and this is not in that game. Well, maybe Bethesda didn't want that in their game. And maybe my mind doesn't want Starfield. It's as simple as that. At the end of the day, yeah, you can set your expectations, you could do all this, but Bethesda never said they were going to do that. They were never going to make a Cyberpunk, right? So why in my mind, I'm like, oh, I'm going to shit on Starfield because it doesn't have the elements that Cyberpunk has. Well, CD Projekt Red wanted that version of that utopia, right? Neon utopia. Bethesda wanted this clean, aesthetic NASA feel. It's two different things, And my mind, my personality, my everything goes towards Cyberpunk. So it's not fair for me to shit on Starfield. You know what I mean? Starfield wasn't made for me. Even if you do the mods, you do everything else, you fix issues, you do whatever, right? Say they fix loading screens, say they fix expiration. At the end of the day, it's still not for me because I'm looking for what Cyberpunk gives me, right? Same thing for Marvel's Endgame. It's not for everyone because you don't understand it. It's for the fans. It's for the end product of this journey, right? Another similar issue, which is what I want to bring into of where it goes wrong, right? Helldivers had a beautiful quote on the website. Game made for everyone is a game made for no one. That's true, right? And to bring it into Destiny terms, of course I'm going to bring it back to Destiny because that's the gameplay you're watching. That's me out there, right? It's my game. Lightfall was made for everyone. And at the end of the day, it was liked by no one. Final Shape needs to be made for the people who stayed on the journey from the beginning, middle to end. Now, Destiny's a little different because they sunset their stories and their content. What I mean by that is they pretty much delete what came before and only keep you on the current path or what's going on right now. So it's hard to do the onboarding process, right? You can't go into the game now and do the whole story of Destiny. You just can't. It's gone. It's completely deleted. All you can do is find it on YouTube. And that has its own issues. That's its own problem, right? But at the end of the day, if your game physically cannot onboard people, then the final DLC cannot be for onboarding people. Do you see what I'm saying? It cannot be for new people. It cannot be for the middle of the road people. It has to be for the loyal fans that stayed on the way. Now I know I sound like some fanboy. This one has to be for me. It has to be made for me, not for the other people. No, that's not what I'm saying. If your game physically cannot tell the story of the older content, then the last content should not try to get new people on it. That doesn't make any sense because the answers they're going to get are going to make no sense. And in their mind, they'll be like, oh, this is dog shit. This story makes no sense. Right? And that goes into the ratings, that goes into the reviews of someone shitting on the game, right? Maybe the game wasn't made for them, right? And that's what I'm saying. For Final Shape, maybe the answer you got wasn't for you. And that's different if you're talking about narrative criticism, right? If you got the question and you finally got the answer and then you're a little bit confused, that's different, right? But if you never got the question and you only got the answer, then you're kind of just like, and you got no context, then you're just like, all right, whatever. I'll just shoot some things, right? That's the point I'm getting to. That was never made for you. That's what Final Shape needs to do. It can't be made for the onboarding people, which I know sucks. It sucks. You look at Dragon's Dogma 2, right? A lot of reviewers, a lot of people on YouTube, I mean a lot, are saying, hey, this game may not be made for everyone. Take it how it is, right? And that's what it should be. That's what games should be. It should be tried by everyone, but not made for everyone. If you go into Dune Part 2, yeah, it's a good-ass movie. It visually looks beautiful. It's a fucking masterpiece. I'm a fanboy now, right? Timothy is hubby number one, right? Whatever the fuck you want to say. Dune Part 2 is beautiful. But you've never watched Dune Part 1 and you went straight to Dune Part 2, my God, are you fucking confused of what's going on in Part 2? And I imagine when part 3 comes out and you've never seen 1 or 2, then you're fucking confused of what's going on in part 3. It may look beautiful, it may be beautiful, it may be awesome, you may think it's awesome, but you're confused at the end of the day because you never had the context of 1 and 2. Because 2 was made for the people who seen 1. 3 was made for the people who seen 2 and 1. That's what I'm saying. There's not a constant onboarding. There's not a constant watered down for the, for the mass people. That's what I'm getting to, right? That's like the problem with the new Star Wars movies, right? Or older Star Wars movies, because it hasn't been one for a while. It's like constantly trying to onboard you, but not digging deeper into the lore of things for the people who are staying on the journey. And I think that's what games in general need to do, right? And I think that's what gamers need to fucking realize, right? Everyone on the internet, including me, I'm part of it, but everyone on the internet is an expert now. Everybody has their opinion. Everybody can turn on the webcam, put some gameplay on the screen, and be like, oh, here's my opinion, you're going to listen to me talk, right? But at the end of the day, we need to have that mindset of maybe this game isn't made for me, and maybe the things in the game shouldn't be shit on because it's not made for me. Now, if you have constructive criticism about certain things, then yeah, go ahead. But when things just simply aren't made for you, right? Don't do it. That's pretty much the end of my rant. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the new gameplay that's going on the screen. You know what I mean? I try to do my thing, y'all. But let me guys know. Leave a like, leave a comment if you agree with me. If you like the new format, then go ahead. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.